incorporating some Rainbow Six kind of style things where you can shoot through doors, you can shoot through walls, you can peer around corners.
Yeah, you've got the lean mechanic, which is really nice.
And enemies have that too. They'll pop their head around, and if you're quick enough, you can, nail.
It's unfortunate though, because like these mechanics are super interesting. Like they make combat a little bit more tactical. They give you a lot more options. Like the fact that at least in this particular demo, like the environments were very destructible. That's all super interesting, but then it puts those mechanics at odds with itself, making you so uncomfortable to the point where, like, I at least personally, I feel like I don't necessarily want to play 15 to 20 hours of what I was just shown.
While you are going into a moral gray area, like that's exactly what it is. It is a morally ambiguous area. Your enemies are no longer wearing uniforms that denote that, like, it's not black and white anymore.
Also where some of the difficulty in, oh, it looks so beautiful and so realistic, so when I have to then shoot these people, it looks like you're shooting, like, whether they're terrorists or not, of course.
Infinity Ward is intentionally pushing buttons on this, and that's a risky thing to do, but and maybe they'll fall flat on their face, and this game's going to end up being offensive to anyone who's served in the military. I don't know. That is entirely possible. If they get it right, and they remember this game's being headed by a couple of former leads from Naughty Dog, so there's a pedigree there. If they get it right, it's going to be one of the most memorable and probably best Call of Duties ever in this annual long-running series.
I mean, I think it's really important to remember this was a demo. It was taken out of context, but in the context that they showed it to us, I felt uncomfortable, and it felt, I mean, I don't know, it just felt so real, and I know that's what they were going for, but I don't know, you can speak to this, but just like, that these are real life scenarios.
Right, and so the whole thing what Infinity Ward is going for is like these are instances taken out of the headlines, right? Mm-hmm. And when you approach that, it has to be done with such care.
Yep.
And the demo we saw wasn't really given that care because, of course, we don't have the context. We don't have anyone saying, hey, this is where we're at so far, why it's okay for us just to go into the house and shoot everybody in there.
Sergeant Garrick, thanks to your intel, we tracked the Al-Qatala cell responsible for the Piccadilly attack to a townhouse in North London. 3 SAS teams will get inside and connect the dots. If the Wolf is in possession of the stolen Russian gas in Kazakhstan, we need to find him. Be advised, there may be non-combatants on target. Check your shots.
Instead of taking them prisoner, except for like 2 people. And it's not very clear, and so it was just very jarring because of that.
Well, at one point, they break into a room, and you train your gun on the person who's in there, and it's a woman, and she's running to a crib, and she picks up a baby, and you're like, what do you do there?
Well, I mean, obviously, if you're a good person, you don't shoot the baby.
We never really saw the consequences of any choices, how differently this mission could have gone, what happens if you hadn't shot out that light, what happens if you do accidentally kill the woman and her child, does the mission end, does it change the story of the game at all?
Yeah, we don't know, and I think that's the biggest question for me, is seeing out, like, whether...
So, Call of Duty Modern Warfare is out today, and this isn't necessarily a video talking about the actual gameplay and reviewing it, so if you thought you were going to get all of the new gameplay and multiplayer mode, suggestions, and all that good stuff, no. I'm here to talk about something that I've wanted to talk about for like the past 3 to 4 months, and it was when IGN made a video talking about how all of the stuff that they saw within the game was really, really disturbing and all that good stuff, and they said that this isn't a game that they don't want to ever play because they thought that it was hyper realistic and that it was disturbing and stuff like that. And I watched the gameplay and I was like, this is just literally like SOCOM or some type of other tactical first-person shooter in close quarters. Like, how could you miss the ball this badly on this game? Like, how could you misjudge this game so badly? And for some weird reason, it's like it's every single journalist. It's like they now try and go for this hyper outrageous, this, we're gonna be super angry and mad and stuff like that at the games, and we're not really gonna just look at them like they're just video games and this is fun and stuff like that. But they're like, you know what, if I play this game, I'm really disturbed by what I saw in the gameplay demo, and I'm like, just get over it. And the worst thing is, they're the journalists that decide like what you want to play. They're supposed to be the people that are supposed to be writing articles telling you what you're supposed to play. Like, that's essentially what their job is supposed to be. And instead of them doing that, they tell you, well, you know, this is way too disturbing and I don't really want to play it for 15 or 20 plus hours. And they just don't know how to watch gameplay, and they don't understand what makes a game a really, really fun and interesting game by watching gameplay. And the thing that sucks is that you see all of the developers, you see CD Projekt Red not releasing their 40 plus minutes of gameplay that they've shown off literally at every single gaming expo that they've been to. You see Kojima not releasing any of his gameplay unless it's, you know, in the Tokyo Game Show and it's in Japan and they have to translate it to, it's a pain in the ass to watch. Like, he's not going to come to America. He sees how freaking crazy we are, and Europe as well. Like, they don't want to come here. They don't want to show off their gameplay because they know it's going to piss people off. And for like 3 to 4 months, the narrative will be, well, the game is too violent. The game, until the game actually comes out and people can actually see it. And then worse yet, what happens if people who are not in the industry, let's say, for example, you have like a more popular version of Anita Sarkeesian. Let's say Anita Sarkeesian didn't fade into obscurity and Feminist Frequency was this really, really large media platform on the internet, and they had this really, really large control over the spin of whether a game is offensive or not. Like, imagine how ridiculous some of the claims they would be making against certain games would be. Not to get like super political, but it's like, I mean, they're video games, and people, they aren't looking at them as video games. They aren't judging them off of their mechanics. They aren't judging them off of their actual qualities as a game. And they're like, well, how do we politicize this movement? How do we politicize this piece of gameplay? And they aren't focusing on the gameplay. And that really annoys me because it's actually affecting what gameplay I get to watch and what gameplay I don't get to watch.